Thousands of years ago, the world of Vidra suffered an apocalyptic event that destroyed the planet's previous way of life and unbalanced the forces that kept the world together. Over time, the people of this world have slowly managed to piece civilization back together, using the scraps of the old world and their newly skewed system of magic. However, gods and factions began to emerge, and they began to grapple for dominance. In such turbulent times, figures of great import to the multiverse emerge, tempered by the conflict around them. I am the Ethernaut, and I am burdened with the task of chronicling every story in the multiverse. And this is one of legends.
Hello, one and all, and welcome to the Etherlog. My name is Sam Comerford, and I am the Ethernaut, which is really just our fancy term for Game Master. But regardless, it's wonderful to have you along for the story we are about to tell. With me, of course, is our wonderful cast of players. Say hi, cast of players.
Hi, cast of
players.
Nice, that will never get old. We're just gonna, I'm gonna introduce everyone. We're going to start with Matt. Matt, who are you?
Hi, I'm Matt. You may know me as Dungeon Glitch on the onlines. I'm going to be playing as... should we talk about who I'm playing as?
You know what? Let's leave that. Let's leave that until we actually introduce him. Yes, titillating.
Cool. That's all you need to know about me, I guess.
Let's move on to Chrissy.
Hi, I'm Chrissy. You might know me as Chrissy and Keller in most social media spaces. And yeah, I roll dice and make dirty jokes.
That's why we're here. That is why we're here. Lex, what's your deal?
Hi everyone, I'm Lex. I'm an indie TTRPG designer. You might know me as Titanomachy RPG. You can find all my stuff at titanrpg.com. So you don't have to learn how to spell Titanomachy. Just go to Titan. It'll redirect you. titanrpg.com. All my games. I got some wild 5e subclasses, including one that you'll see today. And I'm really excited to start this journey with all these wonderful people.
Very cool. And finally, last but not least, Mark. What's your deal? Who are you?
Hi, I'm Mark Arcusha. You might know me from selling things to you on the TV and radio, or reading books out loud. I'm a voice actor, a regular actor. I write. I started the Cast Eye podcast. I DM there sometimes. And I think that pretty much covers it.
Nice. Yeah, again, I'm Sam Comerford. I don't really do much, except for this.
Oh, stop.
So
Role-playing and role-playing?
Yeah, okay. I run a
Shitty
Twitter
character
account
ideas?
with
Come
shitty character ideas. I suppose you might know me for that. But regardless, I'm not here for shitty character ideas. You know why I'm here? I'm here to tell a story. And I'm here to drag you along with me. Hopefully it'll be enjoyable. But anyways, let's get right into it, shall we? Our tale begins in a place many epic quests do. In an inn. This inn in particular is named the Kind Manibor Inn, and it is situated in the quiet town of Tolstead. As one might expect, the denizens of this establishment are mostly locals who live a quiet life in the aforementioned quiet town, with a few notable exceptions. We, or should I say you, the audience, as I'm treating you like a camera, move from our view outside of this establishment and into the inn itself, where we immediately notice an odd pair sitting at the bar. Matt and Chrissy, please introduce your characters.
You see a pale, sickly isn't exactly the right word, but it's the first word that comes to mind, but a pale, kind of thin woman with long black hair and face paint that kind of looks like a skull, not full blown, very simplistic, just around the nose and little lines on the mouth and immaculate eye makeup. And yes, obviously, done up in black. That is her color. Black is her color. And she holds herself in a bold, confident manner, even when she can tell certain patrons are giving her less than favorable views. Maybe some eye rolls when she speaks. She'll win them over eventually. She knows this. And she speaks a little too loudly. This is Octavia. This is Octavia Grand. Fairly well-known bard around the world. Well, not world. Around the region. We'll be a little generous with her.
And who is sitting next to Octavia?
Beside Octavia is a rather tall old sitting. He's about 6'4", but wiry. Very long limbs, long torso. Well, immediately you're going to notice that he is covered in green, various colors of green scales. Facial-wise, imagine a bald David Beckham if you'd cut his nose off and stretched his mouth 2 inches on the sides. Yeah, so you look at this man, and he has this military jacket and matching pants and boots. Black, orange decals, details. This like metallic-looking wyvern badge on it. His arms exceedingly long, like his elbows go to his waist, and it's just he has like all these gray wrappings around his arms. Just total pugilist look.
Yes.
And
Good word.
he's got all these beads of different various colors of purple around his neck and around his left wrist.
Hi.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like both of these characters are hot and horrifying. Not like one is hot and one is horrifying. You are both hot and horrifying at the same time. And we need to kind of move back a bit in time to really analyze who these characters are. So, as you two sit at the bar, we shift back in time just mere hours ago, with the two of you standing on the wooded outskirts of the town, looking at it with this air of determination. You know, Octavia, that your quarry must be nearby, and this town is a great place to start looking.
I can't say for certain that he's here, Gil, but I know I'm on the right track.
I suppose we better get the lay of the land, I guess.
Yeah, we'll find an inn. Ask around. Although, maybe we should ask around discreetly?
As if we could ever do anything discreetly.
Yeah. We stand out a little, huh?
He just puts his hood up. They're discreet.
I could wash the face paint off, but why bother?
Excellent. And we are shot back into the present, as you, the camera audience, pan a bit to the right to a table where at it is sit a very short humanoid. Lex, what are we looking at here?
You were looking at Dashi Shijak, who is a small-sized Azamar with like lavender purple skin, bright blue, like turquoise, like electric turquoise hair, and a mask that has sort of 3 golden eyes, like ovals, arranged in a triangular formation, and a big smile across the bottom. Armor on the upper half of their body with big pauldrons that have sort of like yellow crystals in them, and 2 large gauntlets that also have this sort of bright turquoise fingers coming off of them. Loose, flowy, billowing yellow pants and black boots. They are moving very like quickly and jumpily. They're very like spunky and sort of also being loud. And yeah, Dashi is a cleric, and maybe we'll get to what domain pretty soon here.
I think we will, because in order to kind of contextualize Dashi, we must again shift backwards in time. This time, weeks ago, to Dashi standing over the body of a fellow grief cleric. He has an arrow protruding from his chest, and you once knew this man as a friend. You look down at the worn note in your hand that reads, "They've found out. I have to go. Come join me, my love. You're getting closer to her. You have to be."
Yeah, I think Dashi picks up the note, folds it up, puts it in a safe pocket, sort of kneels down by their friend, and she takes her mask off and sits there kneeling and like just cries it all out over like 5 minutes, then wipes the tears away, puts the mask back on, and heads off in the direction that they think they should go. Dashi's pronouns are they, she, by the way.
Very good to know. And we are returned to the present yet again, as the door to the kind Manor is opened, and most of the light that attempts to make its way into the dimly lit inn is blocked by a hulking figure in the doorway. Mark, please describe your character.
We see this hulking figure, and he's dressed in simple furs, a utilitarian sword, pretty much unadorned, well-used, hangs at his belt. He crosses the bar. He crosses the tavern. Maybe he sits at the bar, and he lounges in an almost like disrespectfully relaxed manner. There's something reminiscent of the mountain cats of the north in the way he holds himself, which is accentuated by the balance of muscle and sleek. What's a good word for that? Sleek. What do Germans call it? Ergodynamic design of his frame.
Yes.
The eyes above the half smile on his lips seem to burn from the shadows cast by the long, wavy hair that hangs about his face.
And with that, we move backwards in time for the final time, as well as south to a dark alley in the metropolis that is the city of Promundus. Drake, the aforementioned barbarian, stands next to a mysterious masked figure who reaches into their pocket as if in mid-conversation. The figure asks, "Do you understand what I've assigned to you?"
And those eyes burn once again, even more noticeable in these shadows. And he says, "It's as good as done."
Good. Here's an image of your mark and 200 brights up front. The other 800 will come after the job is done. Drake looks down at the picture that has been handed to him, and staring back at him is an image of Dashi. And we move back to the present. And now, you have noticed this hulking man come in and lounge at the bar like he owns the place. And the bartender, a squat dwarf, comes up to him and says, "Can I help you to a drink? Something?"
I certainly hope so. An ale to wash the dust of the road from my throat, please.
Sure thing. And this guy gets to pour in some ale. What's your passive perception, Drake?
That is a great question. It is 12.
12?
Yes.
I mean, Dashi, I'm assuming you're not trying to hide or anything.
Even if I was, I have a -1 and disadvantage. So you hear loud clanking of armor.
As well as being both, like, a small purple skin,
a small purple person with bright blue hair.
Since you're small, is it really a clanking of armor or more of like a tinkling,
Tinkling.
of armor?
Tinkling. Yes.
It sounds sort of icy. Is actually the sound. It's sort of like,
I like
tinkling ice.
Very nice.
Like the chainmail that like kind of covers their midriff area has like that tinkling ice crystal sound.
Drake says, "Do you have wind chimes in here? What is that?"
Yeah, you clock your target, Dashi, just kind of sitting at a table. I'm assuming like eating something over the
I'm probably actually like I probably found the saddest person in the bar and I'm just like talking to them.
Yeah,
and sort of like helping them through whatever it is that they're
for
going
sure.
through.
In fact, yeah, you're not sitting at a table, and you're sitting at a table with this really sad-looking farmer. He's like, I can't believe she left me. We had so much, and it's just so hard. I don't know what I did wrong.
It is hard, and sometimes we didn't do anything wrong. Sometimes we did do something wrong, but she left, and that's a reality you'll have to reckon with. I'm like patting him on the back. I'm like casting guidance every so often. Just little like sort of like this like almost like a dry ice mist that comes off when I cast the spell through my gauntlets. And it's sort of it's one of those like reinvigorating chills to not like harm, it doesn't hurt, it just sort of like brisk, wakes you up in the morning.
Yeah, why don't you describe their gauntlets to me? What are those? I know they have these yellow gems on them. What's kind of the deal with these gauntlets?
So these gauntlets are pretty big for Dashi's size. I think they're like a normal humanoid size, like a medium-sized creature's gauntlet. So on Dashi, they're like massive. And they are they're the gauntlets of Holy Rhyme, which is a minor relic of the Grief Domain. And this is a pair of gauntlets that they're not like an extremely powerful artifact, but like one of when Greek clerics will go on their pilgrimage, they'll often take a minor relic with them as they travel through the world, just to help protect them and stuff.
Sure. Yeah. These beautiful gauntlets, the yellow gems glow every time you cast a spell or cantrip with them. And this guy does look to seem a little bit better. Like he's handling the brutal decimation of his previous relationship a little bit better now that you're here. In fact, really everybody is looking at you and your friend who is loudly sobbing at the moment. So yeah, you all clock this. In fact, you all notice each other as really, you all stick out like sore thumbs in here. Everyone else is kind of, provincial, just, farmers. The bartender's just kind of this dwarf. You might have somebody in here with a prosthetic limb or whatnot that might stick out a little bit, but not nearly as much as you four. You guys are like a sore thumb.
Gail's just gonna look over at Octavia. Well, maybe we will be able to blend in after all.
Yeah, I thought we were conspicuous, but look at that big boy. What? What is up? Like, that is a large man.
Drake, you probably hear this. I mean, you're all sitting at the bar. So
I think I just, if I do hear it, I think I kind of just like keep my eyes forward, but like do one of those little like chuckles, like just a little huff of a laugh as I take like the first 3/4 of my ale in one shot.
Does the mug look like extra tiny in your hand or something? Does it just kind of look almost comical? I feel like it looks comical.
It looks like an espresso cup. Yeah.
oh my god.
You ever seen that picture of Andre the Giant holding a beer? Like a
Yes.
12-ounce
Or
beer.
Shaq holding a water bottle.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
How tall is Drag?
I think he's probably around the same height. Probably. I made him up. Yeah, he's the same height as Gale. But he's just like, in the same way that like, but he looks like he could be in the WWE, as opposed to being, wiry. He's very
6'4", 280.
Yeah,
Scott Hall.
yeah, probably 6'4". Could be.
Get some strongman in there. Thor Bjornsson.
Well, he's still very sleek.
Okay.
You know.
Right. The strongmen are very bulky.
Yeah, they
and
tend
got
to be.
lots
They tend to
of
be
muscle.
bulky.
But he's cut. Drake is sort of
Yeah,
like granite.
more
like Conan the Barbarian.
more like a panther than a tiger.
Oh.
know what I mean?
Yes, of course.
Sexy.
Oh
Yeah, as our table of, or as the bar of misfits sort of eyes and chuckles at each other, the bartender comes up to our fearsome twosome and says, so can I top you guys off with anything else? Drink maybe? Something like food perhaps? A room?
Well, I think we would like a room. What's the hardest liquor that you have too?
Well, we actually, it's gonna be a little bit pricey, I will say. It ain't cheap. But there is, Rillian, the big, kind of sky city, they got this, these grief clerics that make this thing called Last Time I Was Happy. We just got a shipment of it in today. Ooh, it'll put hair where you didn't think there could be hair. It is some nasty stuff.
Well, I don't really think I want a whole lot of extra hair, but I will think I might try it. How expensive are we talking, though?
When this question of how expensive are we talking, Drake puts some of those brights that he received in that flashback down on the bar, and hoping that however much he's putting down is enough for 3 servings.
Yeah, he says it's not enough. You embarrass yourself. No, I'm kidding. It's enough. It is totally enough. Let's say you put down, that'll be a good amount for this. Probably like 5 brights would cover it, which is not cheap. That is, for reference, for listeners, brights are essentially gold pieces, dims are essentially silver, and chips are bronze. So when I reference those, that's sort of the kind of reference you can kind of make in your head. Copper. Wow. I don't play Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and
Additionally, the things that separates this from your typical metallic currency is that these coins are not coins. They're actually pieces of quartz that have been hewn. And they're not just any quartz. They're called solar quartz. And they glow. And they additionally tell the time. So you put these rocks on the table and they kind of glow this bright yellow. As it's midday. And the bartender says, sure, that'll cover it. And he slides these into a little purse he has. And he goes on the bar and brings out this beautiful looking, very intricate bottle and just pours like 3 shots and slides it to the 3 of you.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. I'm Octavia. I suppose it's proper to give a name after someone's bought you a drink. Yeah, Octavia Grand, and you are?
I'm called the Shatterhand.
Oh, that is an impressive name.
Gale reaches out almost like a praying mantis and just grabs his shot. It's like, oh, Shatterhands? Is that like a verb? Just stares at this drink. It's like, good times indeed.
I suppose you could call it a nickname or a nom de guerre.
Gale's eyes kind of like light up at the vocabulary use. All right.
I took French as my language.
Wait, as someone who did not, what's the difference between that and a nom de plume?
Guerre is war.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you know what? French is gnomish. Sure.
Could I? So I have a pretty high passive perception and insight, and I know there's, I'm not like a free, like there's people. I know there's some stuff going on in the background in my life that I might be worried about. Is there? Can I hear any of this? And I will maybe I'm comforting this person, but I'm always like keeping my wits about me and being like, okay, is there people here who want to like come after me or stop me?
You don't know about that, but what you do over here is the last time I was happy, which is a drink that your order makes on Rillian, which is where your big monastery's at. So that definitely perks your attention. Like, whoa, they got it this far out in the fucking boonies. So you definitely clock that.
I think after that, I'm just like listening into the resulting conversation, but I'm not doing anything yet.
Sure, yeah. We cut back to the bar itself, where you guys can still overhear this guy crying. What's going on? You taking those shots?
Well, of course. It'd be rude not to.
Sure. I'm gonna need Constitution saving throws from everyone.
Oh
DC
boy.
20. This is
The fuck?
this is a strong drink, folks. I'm gonna be. When you said strong, so I'm like, are you
That was
sure?
close.
Are you absolutely certain?
I got a 19.
19? Oh, unfortunate.
13.
13?
And a 16.
And a 16. Oh, boy. You are all a little buzzed, I will say. I'm not going to completely cripple you guys at this point, but I'm going to say that all intelligence checks will be made at disadvantage for the next while. I'll allow you to roll another Constitution saving throw in a bit. But for now, this thing hits like a fucking dragon, man. It is nasty. And it goes down like pretty smooth somehow. But like, oh my lord, this is something else. You've never had something this strong. And the bartender says, yeah, that's about right. That's about right, yeah. Stuff's akin to like paint thinner. It is.
So it's like a scotch, like complex flavors, and
I'll let Lex describe it, considering they are the one who made it up.
Yeah, so it's when it goes down, it has that like classic like high proof liquor burn, but then the burn goes cold, and it's like an icy, like almost like you chugged a whole bunch of like pure mint or something, but it doesn't taste like that up front. It sort of tastes very like warm and inviting on the tongue, on the palate, and sort of. Some people say that if you get like a really pure batch, it like reminds you of the last time you were happy. And there is people say it's like that's just like placebo. Some people say it's for real. It's like a real effect that the thing has. But it is sort of like a warm, pleasant taste. It's more like I think it's more like rum than scotch, but it's not as fruity as rum.
So it's a little sweet and.
Yeah, it's a little sweet, and I think it does have a little bit of smokiness, because I think smoke is very nostalgic.
Aged in a charred barrel.
Yes.
Aged
I'm
in
going to
charred
roll
oak
a
barrels.
d20 to see how pure this batch is. As my first roll of the game.
Ooh.
That is a 9. This might not even have been made in Rillian. In fact, Dashi, you clock the bottle and you're like, wait a minute. We didn't make that. So this is like some off-brand like paint thinner. So this stuff tastes like if you drank icy hot. It's not phenomenal.
Mr. Pibb version.
Yeah, it's the Dr. Thunder actually. Yeah.
Mountain Zing, yes.
Mountains.
Not a sponsor. Also, please do not drink icy hot. Anyways, yeah, this stuff hits. And you three are feeling it. So yeah, what are you guys doing now that you are a little buzzed, to say the least?
Well,
Ugh.
thanks for warning me.
Sure. Yeah. I was a little trepidatious, I think that's a word, of handing y'all some last time I was happy, because I mean, that's As a sucker punch right in the groin, I will say that.
Gale, how you feeling?
Oh, he just like his hand just like wraps around his forehead. Just he looks over you, one eye open. It's like, yeah, this is a little bit tougher than I had anticipated. However, acceptable. What the hell was that?
I told you last time I was happy. It goes down like a weasel run down your throat. A starved weasel at that. It's a lot. It's a lot to handle. I am going to roll something very quickly. Oh, okay. Octavia, you feel a tap on your shoulder. And you turn to look, and you see it's this, like, probably teenage girl. And she says, I hate to bother you, but, are you Octavia Grant?
Yeah. What's up? I think I still am.
Oh, wow. And she reaches into her kind of pockets. Yes, her dress has pockets. And
Lucky.
Yeah.
she
True
brings
fantasy
out,
world.
Yeah, all dresses have pockets.
Dreams come
I mean,
true.
Come on. Dreams come true. And she brings out this kind of folded little kind of drawing of you that she obviously did. And she's like, would you mind? And she kind of hands you like a little, it's a pen. Yeah, it's a pen. We can have pens.
Oh, of course. Did you draw this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's lovely. I'll sign it. I think my signature probably looks a little sloppier than usual, but I do my best. What's your
Yeah.
name?
My name is Melina.
Oh, well, it's very nice to meet you, Melina. Here you go.
And she gladly takes it, and then kind of like nervously kind of runs to the other side of the bar to kind of just like show her friends and look at this honestly pretty cool signed picture. What is everybody's passive perception?
13.
Mine is 16.
Oh, 16 will do it. And you're also not inebriated, so yeah. I will say for sure, Dashi, you clock somebody coming into the Kind Manabor Inn. They look like female presenting. They have this long kind of trench coat, and they just sort of walk in and sit at this corner booth, and they don't do anything, but they don't look like they're from around here. You can instantly kind of suss that out.
Mm-hmm.
The three of you, I'm just gonna say, are concentrated on other things, but Dashi, you for sure clock that.
Cool. I think as that interaction is happening with the autograph, as you all turn back, I'm standing on the bar. I've casted guidance on myself before I stand on the bar, but I climb up onto the bar. I'm like, "What is this, amateur hour?" And then I'm pouring myself a shot of the last time you were happy, and I just shoot it.
Are you gonna pay for that?
I drink it. I'm like, it's not even the real stuff anyway.
I'm gonna need a con save.
Yeah, no, for sure. I will be adding a D4
Yes.
for guidance.
Is that
Okay.
resistance for save?
No, it's just a D4. I had a D4. No, guidance is a skill. Oh, it's a saving throw, right?
Yeah,
Guidance
yeah.
is a skill check.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you
I guess
have
this is a
resistance?
saving throw.
Are you proficient in drinking?
I am not, but I.
You know what? I
have
will-
a pretty good con.
I will say you can make this an advantage because I mean you make the stuff. I'm not.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Ooh, baby! Thank God for advantage, because that is a. It was a 7 on one die, and the other is a 19, so that will be a 22.
Oh, this shit's mid, man. It's not even the real stuff. It goes down and it kind of hurts. Like that's not how it's supposed to be. But you retain all of your faculties. This tiny little ASMR who just outdrank like these much larger people. And the barkeep says, that'll be a brat and a dim.
Oh yeah, sure. Here, I have like a little bit of traveling money. This is more money.
Sure.
It's a big chunk of my money, but I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Why don't you put that one on my tab?
Ooh.
All right. Yeah, sure thing. Wow, well, we haven't had this much activity in here, ever. Yeah, this is, if you don't mind me asking, and I might just be a curious bartender, but, may I inquire as to why y'all are, in my establishment, I suppose?
I would imagine the same reason most people are in your establishment. To get drunk.
That's a fair answer. I will say that.
In my line of work, a bar is usually a good place to set up.
Oh, you're a grief cleric, aren't you?
Guilty.
Yeah. Oh, well, that would make sense with the whole. Yeah. All right.
It's okay. The stuff is all right. I mean, maybe one of these days I'll try to get you a connect to the good stuff.
I would so appreciate that. Thank you. I do have to ask, could you please get off the bar?
Oh,
You are. Yeah.
yeah,
I would
I
really
guess.
appreciate that. Just we don't typically have shoes on the bar. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's
I do appreciate it. Thank you.
unsanitary.
Yeah.
I'll like sort of. I guess we're.
There is these bar stools.
probably
Really,
go
a
pretty
lot
high.
of chairs in this world are just kind of designed to extend and retract depending on what type of person sits in them. Because there are people of all sorts of sizes in this fantasy world. So yeah, chairs are designed to change.
I'll probably sit on the other side of
Got a booster
Greg.
seat.
Yeah, it's just like a telescope. It has like telescoping legs. Like a parcel
Exactly.
that extends. So I shimmy it up and then sit down on it. So like the bar stool is level with the table, and then I'm sitting on
Yeah.
the stool.
Lex, you said small, but did you give like an actual height?
No, it's like 3.5 feet. Like a gnome, halfling,
Okay.
like sort of like in that realm of goblin size, sort of. I'm not super big. I'm just very loud.
Gotcha. 3.5 feet tall. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that the way that you guys are seating it is Gale, Octavia, Drake, and then Dashi.
I'm like
This
barely
line.
peeking over Drake's shoulder. Like just my eyes are over his shoulder, just to like look in on the conversation.
You're probably standing on
Yeah,
that to
standing
do
on
that
the-
because I mean this man has boulders for shoulders.
Boulders for shoulders.
Yeah, I mean like your pauldrons probably are about as large as
Yeah.
his
His
shoulders.
just his shoulder muscles are as big as my pauldrons.
Yeah, exactly. His flesh pauldrons, if you will.
That's what we call shoulders on the ether log.
That's right.
Yeah, they're the flesh pauldrons.
Flesh pauldron.
That is the worst thing I've ever said. Ugh.
Episode 1, baby.
Oh, episode 1, Flesh Pauldron. Yeah, and you four, y'all are just kind of hanging out. I'm going to ask this of Octavia. I know that you probably have some coin on you as you are a performer, but are you going to attempt to not spend any of that?
Oh, of course. Any chance that I have the opportunity to sing for my supper as opposed to shelling out brights that's preferable.
Of course. Yeah. You notice that there is indeed this kind of elevated part of the kind Manibor, which is clearly meant to be first stage, and this thing is just there's cobwebs. Clearly nobody plays there ever. There's like an accordion over in the corner that has been collecting dust. It looks very sad.
Hey, you said that this place generally isn't particularly lively. I can help you drum up some business if you could give me and my friend a room for the evening.
Well, I suppose that depends on your performance, but then again, you do have, I can see an audience, so yeah, I think I can manage that. We'll see how things go. If anything, you'll definitely get a discount.
Sounds swell.
All right.
So-
Yeah, are you going up on stage?
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, roll me a performance check. I will say with advantage, because you're a little buzzed, a little bit more confident from that booze, and also you have a fangirl who immediately sees you going on stage and is like, "Oh my god!" Just runs up, and her friends come with her, and she's like, "This is what I've been telling you about. we're gonna get Smircy alive. Yeah, they're kind of freaking out, and they all kind of just run up and drag chairs across the floor to just get in on the action. What was that performance check?
This is going to be so embarrassing if I don't roll
Gail's
well.
getting used to this, so he just says, break a leg in Abyssal.
Yeah. It probably sounds like something like that.
Octavia Grand Secret Show?
Yes.
She doesn't understand Abyssal, but that's okay. She gets.
Oh, Draconic.
Oh, then I understood that.
She still didn't.
Just saying things in random languages.
She's not particularly worldly in that aspect, but I rolled a 19, 13 plus 6.
Oh, very nice.
I'm glad I had advantage because one of those was a 3.
They say that music is the universal language, and here it tickles everybody pink because you perform excellently. In fact, why don't you tell me what's the deal with Octavia's performance? What's that look like?
Octavia's performances often they're a little spooky. She somehow brings voices that add ambiance to her songs that kind of just whisper in the back of people's minds. And sometimes they sound like relatives or dead ancestors of the person that can hear them. And they sound a little different to everybody. And she's singing a more upbeat song about reveling with spirits and like getting drunk with the dead. It's a old like folksy song, but she sings it more like a rock ballad. Sure. And people can hear a little bit of spiritual ambiance just whispering in the back of their head. It's kind of unsettling to some, but other people love it.
Yeah, I'm going to roll to see if people are put off by that.
I'll say this is absolutely Dashi's jam. Like, people that you've lost, and like that's sort of just like their loss is their whole deal. So this is just like, oh my god, like this is the best thing I've ever heard in my life. This is the coolest music ever.
Dashi, to your relief, you do not hear her voice in the choir.
That's a good sign.
Yes, she is still out there. Drake, you hear a lot of voices, buddy. You hear so many. What is that like to you? How does that feel?
It is, I think, somewhat unsettling and, but also familiar, in a way of like my childhood of like hearing these kind of things like on in my tribe of these kind of choruses, but the voices that join in, can I like how much do I understand about them?
You recognize the people who are singing as just the fellow members of your tribe who you have lost a long time ago now. Just voices you haven't remembered in a minute.
Yeah, I think we see Drake really kind of somber in this moment.
Can I clock that?
What's your passive insight?
Also 16.
Are you trying to hide this, Drake?
I don't think so. I don't think I wouldn't say that it's a real like show of emotion as much as a kind of just like quiet like stillness.
Then I will say, Dashi, Drake, get still. Or just at least not as Panther-esque in that moment. friend, shall we say.
I'll probably like tap him on the arm with my big gauntlet, and just be like, "How do you like the music?"
I like it well.
It's good stuff.
It is. It is indeed.
Do you hear anyone?
I hear a chorus of voices.
Me too. She's incredible.
Are you familiar with this type of performance?
I've heard things here and there, but, it's different when you go and see it for yourself.
Is it some trick? Some skill?
You could say that. But can only recall what is already sitting at the back of your mind.
Drake, you look down at your hand that gives you your name, Shatterhand, and that gnarled fist sort of stares back at you with its white knuckles. And you remember that this is the mark that reminds you of these people every single day.
And I think I flex it and kind of like, as if it were stiff, I kind of like roll my knuckles around and probably Dashi would see, since this hand is like 3/4 the size of Dashi's body.
Yeah.
They're like the metacarpals, like the fingers kind of go in like odd directions somewhat, and the metacarpals are like crooked and bent, as if it healed poorly from a massive injury.
Yeah. Additionally, whenever you kind of do that, it's like your knuckles
Yeah.
always crack. Like just like the snapping of stuff.
Yeah.
That, like happens when you move your hand, which is a little unsettling.
Yeah, you
to
can hear
most
like
people.
tendons sliding over the knobby bones and like the cracking of the stuff, like pops, cracks, snaps, crackles, pops, all the stuff.
That is a rough injury. You'll have to tell me the story sometime. We don't have to talk about it now.
And I think like for the first time I really like looked down at Dashi, and I think it's like a really like, I don't want to say poker face, but just like flat look of like no real emotion, just like a taking of stock, I guess.
I think I'm just gonna, this is like a look I'm used to seeing from strangers. Like if you pry into strangers' business, this is the look they give you. So I think I'm used to that. I'll like just give him one more pat, and then run to the crowd to enjoy the music with these other fans. Cause I'm just like, this freaking rules. This is awesome. Maybe I'm like, I don't know how many people are there, but I'll like try to crowd surf, but just like fall back down to the ground and stuff.
Yeah, you jump up in the air and just kind of like, thump. Because nobody's like looking to catch you. Yeah, most of the bar is enjoying this. The barkeep is kind of like, bobbing his head as he's like cleaning the glass. Obviously, you have your retinue of fangirls and whatnot. And then you just have some farmers who have gotten up and are kind of like, dancing with each other. You notice some, like an elderly couple who's like, kids these days. And they kind of just walk out of the bar, not wanting to hear probably the chorus of voices that you gain with age. But the music, I'll be honest, the music fucking rocks. It's real cool. People are going pretty nuts to it. People are drinking more, which the bartender certainly appreciates. I would ask, what is Gale doing while your partner in crime, as it were, is performing this song about, I don't know, if it's Drink with the Dead, maybe it's called The Grave Bar or something like that? I don't know.
Sure, that sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, what's Gale doing?
Gale has seen this before, so he's starting to get more used to it. For him, experiencing any voices is more of a scientific experience. So he's more, this is fascinating. And but he does try to overhear the conversation between Drag and Dashi if possible. And
Sure. I'll say you're able to clock
Okay.
that. But I will say one other thing. You also hear a voice you haven't heard before. But the more you think about it, you have heard this voice before in the chorus while you were listening to Octavia. It's never been this loud, though. It finally allows you to realize it's there. And it's your friend, Stefan, who was a member of the Wyverns who went missing. Now you know what's happened.
Yes. So I'm not going to mention that, but I am going to note that to myself. Since this has been going on, I'm putting theories together and figuring things out a bit and coming to conclusions. So
Of course.
I'm going to lean closer to Drag and not look at him, but just kind of. Yes, it is a little unsettling. It's somewhat of a grand mystery still. I'm calling it the Chorus of Corpses. I'm not sure how quite she does it yet, but it is interesting.
Oh, that's good.
It is so good.
And I think now it's that same look, that same like flat, like weighing and measuring look now directed at Gale for a moment. That, you know, like when you say something to someone expecting an answer and they just don't respond. But like, not like they didn't, like they heard you, but there's just no response. And then he turns back to the bartender and orders a cruce, which is like the lightly fermented small beer of the steppe, which they you know, it's just enough fermentation so that it kills the bugs in the water. You know what I mean?
Sure. You called that a
Cruce.
cruise?
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, we do a bit of improv in this show. You can tell.
This was all scripted up
Yeah,
until this
yeah.
point.
Yeah, actually, this is the part where we went off the rails.
Yeah.
The cruise does not cost much. It's like a dim, which you have.
Yeah.
In.
When Drag does that, Gale kind of finally turns as well, and he's gonna tap his first drink, which is a Baron's bourbon, and he's gonna cover Drag's new drink.
Sure. Yeah. You're given that drink as well, and you all have I guess some of you have a pretty not great time, but the people who are having a good time are having a good time. I mean, Dashi is now in the very small mosh pit that is formed.
Huge gauntlets just swinging.
Yeah, people are just kind of giving you kind of room, you know,
Yeah.
because they don't want to get hit by these gauntlets. Octavia is singing her heart out, guaranteed. She knows she's getting that free room. And as this is happening, as the hours kind of pass and night begins to fall, Gale, you get a tap on your shoulder. And as you turn, you see this woman in a big trench coat. She doesn't look like she's from around here. And she says to you, I clocked that you're in the order. Would you mind having a chat with me?
I peek around to see if anyone else sees this.
People are. No, everybody
Sure.
else who is enjoying themselves, even the guy who was previously crying, are all dancing. They're all having a good time.
I think I'm sitting on his shoulders, like, you know, at a music
Yes.
festival.
Yes, 100%.
All right, in that case, then yeah, I'm going to push away from the bar and just like reach out, fingers down, grab my bourbon, and just all right. Somewhere quieter.
She gestures over to the corner where she's been sitting for the last while, and you see that on her table is a satchel along with plenty of notes.
I'm gonna see if I can lock eyes with Octavia as I do this.
Yeah. Why don't you give... Fuck. Octavia, what's your passive perception?
14.
You know what? I will say that you catch... You guys have enough of a connection now as you've been traveling for a while. You catch the serpentine eyes of Gale as he is walking towards the corner with this woman you do
I'm gonna
not
give her
know.
the nod.
I'll nod back and I'll subtly keep an eye on him while
Sure.
he's talking to her. Not blatantly staring, but I won't take my eyes off of him for too often.
You hear the bells of the temple chime out that it is now about 11 at night. I'm gonna be real, folks, audience. I don't want to confuse you too much because I could go into like, oh, the time system's different in this world. No, man. No, that's silly. It's 11
It's
p.m.
the equivalent of 11
It's the
PM.
equivalent.
It's fine.
It's Snordos. Yeah, that's the time. It's wicked
It's
late.
wicked late.
It's 11 p.m., folks. As the temple, which is the only large building in this town besides the inn, resounds across the entirety of this place. And it's been going off every hour, as churches do. None of you really had investigated this place beforehand because you just kind of came to the end because, that's where all the juicy tea is at. So, Gale, as this bell is ringing, you are led over to this corner with this mysterious person. And she sits down across from you and says, I'm going to ask you a question, and I would like it if you could answer honestly.
Gale sits at the table, but since he's so tall, his leg just kind of has to kick out to the side.
Yeah,
And,
of course. Yeah.
He stretches his jaw, and as he tries to relax, and just clicks because it unhinges for a second, and it just switches back into place. And his long tongue just kind of darts quickly to the side, and just, of course, ask away.
She opens her coat to reveal an insignia that you've seen before. She is a member of the Collective, which is the premier adventuring organization, as it were. And she says to you, I figured since you were part of the Order, you might be privy to some knowledge that some people here aren't. I'm wondering if you've seen this man. And she slides across a picture of a small gnome with wiry hair, a metallic arm, and a black eye. And by black eye, I don't mean injury. I mean it is made from this black stone that has seemed to infected that part of his face.
Just for clarity, am I familiar with I remember we kind of touched on it before, but how familiar am I?
You are pretty familiar with what this person looks like. In fact, you know that this person is Onyx Eye, your quarry.
All right, so I just I look her over. I look at her insignia again, study her face for a moment, look back at the picture. As we are looking for this person. Yes.
Oh. I see. I didn't. Interesting. He is, I'm sure, as you know, incredibly dangerous and has been affiliated with the Cult of Zurl. You know what that means. The Cult of Zurl is thought to be by many people, especially living out so far here in the boonies, to be a myth. These guys are like the boogeymen. But you know better. You are part of an organization that chronicles information these guys do not mess around. The Cult of Zerl exists primarily to spread pain and misery. That is their only function as far as you have been able to glean. And the fact that this guy's affiliated with them is alarming.
More and more people seem to keep saying that name.
Well, they're sort of our, I suppose, nemesis organization, as it were. We don't take too kindly to the evil type of undead. And she kind of glances over Octavia and says, she's fine. I know she's not one of the ones that they just control, but I would be careful where you go. There are some people who are not so understanding.
Yes, it seems we've run into quite a few unsavory, judgmental people before. He puts his finger on the picture again. He says, so what is your major concern exactly?
We have evidence that not only is he affiliated with this group, but he has been supplying them with his brand of key weaving technology. Key weaving, for the listeners, key weaving is essentially the use of key crystal. Key crystal is a black crystal that is used to balance magic, because the natural magic of the world of Vidra is unbalanced for some reason. And small amounts of key crystal can balance this, but too much key crystal is very, very bad. That will make you very corrupt, which is why this guy having an eye of pure key crystal is not good. It's very bad, in fact. And the fact that he has been supplying this cult with the ability to replicate his technology is more than a little concerning.
All right, so Gale just sort of like leans a little closer. Not too close because he knows he's creepy. So, yes, so my name is Gale. I am from the Order of Wyverns. I see that you are from the Collective. So if you're reaching out to me, then perhaps there is some sort of militaristic significance in this possible partnership?
I fear that the cult is going to become much more aggressive with the advent of these new weapons, and she's cut off as a scream resounds from outside, and there is a roar of something completely unearthly.